I think I'm going to Snowball.
I'm going to Jackson. See if I care. Well, I was worried about having to park in the middle of a city and stuff like that to go to the Children's Museum of Mississippi in Jackson, but we're not in the middle of a city at all. We got married in a fever. No.
We got married in a fever.
Hotter than a pepper sprout. Well, this Children's Museum is huge, so I'm having a hard time keeping track of all three of them. This playground is a digestive system, and once you go down the slide, you're a poop that gets shot out of the slide down here into a toilet. So Lyndon and Maple are obsessed with going through the intestines and down the poop chute over and over and over and over and over again and listening to the farts.
I was a boo-boo.
We're in a Walmart parking lot for the second night in a row. So we're just pushing the boundaries of how long you can go without a shower. We're in Vicksburg, Mississippi, about an hour past Jackson, Mississippi. This is our first time boondocking completely, and it's our second night in a row. Last night was a success, so I shouldn't jinx it, but there's no reason to think that tonight won't be a success too. It was a different experience than the first night in the Walmart in the sense that we were in front of the Walmart by the freeway. And the night before, we were behind the Walmart, like by the woods. It was definitely louder with more action. We're parked right across the street from this all-night ATM right here. So, cars are coming through the ATM kind of at all hours, and their headlights are shining into the Airstream, which was fine. It didn't even bother me. I've always been able to sleep through lots of noise. I like urban living, so it didn't bother me. There was a guy around our Airstream. He was actually standing right where I am, pacing back and forth for a couple hours last night, but we kept ourselves busy by going to have Mexican food over there, and then we went to Walmart and went shopping, and so we decided to just walk by him and get in the Airstream, and he came over here to this tree and then just like took a little nap under the tree and then went on his way. So anyway, all good. I'm actually enjoying staying in Walmart parking lots. I kind of like it. We're in Shreveport, Louisiana. We made it 2.5 hours, and we're at the Scyport Discovery Center. One thing that's kind of unique to this lifestyle is that I'm gonna quickly become an expert at children's museums. I've been to a children's museum every day for the past 3 days. That's how I break up our travel days. Some are better than others. This one's great. As I was getting the kids in the car, this train started to go by. And it's been going for about 30 minutes. So that was a whole show they got to see while I was getting everyone situated in the car.
What's that? What's this, Mom?
Whoa. We arrived in Livingston, Texas today. So we're staying in the campground for escapees. It's called Rainbow's End Campground. We're gonna learn all about escapees and see if the Escapees RV Club is right for us.
The jack's going up. Look at the jack.
Well, I'm grateful to have sewer again because that means that we can use the water and do dishes, and I made tacos for dinner and everything's just a little bit easier. Look at that sky. Wow. Mama.
Mama.
That's me. Is it your first word? Mama.
Mama.
That's
Mama.
Now that we no longer have a sticks and bricks house, that brings up a couple problems that need to be solved. We need somewhere to hang our hats, so to speak. Livingston, Texas is where Escapees RV Club is located. It's an organization that helps nomads like us figure out the logistics of full-time RV living, like receiving mail or registering your vehicles. They offer this service in 3 different states, South Dakota, Florida, and Texas. And we agreed on Texas, one, because of its location. It's kind of central to where we're gonna be traveling around for the next couple of years. Also, it's a place that we could imagine settling someday. We really like Eastern Texas, where it's lush and green, where Livingston is. And we have dreams of having a homestead someday. Texas is huge, so it really leaves our options open. So Texas it is. We're Texans now. Michael just got his Texas driver's license. I got mine yesterday right before they closed. So for one night, we were a bi-state couple, but now we're both Texans. In California, it didn't really feel like we were going with the flow. We just kind of saw our dreams of home ownership getting further and further out of reach. And getting out of that bubble and going on our road trip in a completely different region in the US really shook us. So the spell of California has been broken for us. Bye, California, we're breaking up with you. Sorry, it's not us, it's you. Stars at night.
A big and white. Deep in the heart of Texas.
What do they have in Texas?
It's a different Texas here, but they have an ocean and a beach, and they have a trees there and a field where you can play golf balls and a playground there, and some jackets and a store, and they have cameras at a store.
This is all in Texas?
And they have Play-Doh. Yeah, it's all in Texas.
We came as Californians. We're leaving as Texans, so this place was pretty monumental for us. It feels kind of good to be a Texan. I'm excited. One thing that has happened for me becoming a Texan is it's made me really interested in learning all about Texas, and I'd love to spend our winter exploring Texas. I want to go to Waco and see Chip and Joanna. I want to go to Corpus Christi and see what a beach in Texas looks like. I want to go to Austin. I used to work out of Austin, so I've got a bunch of friends there. I'd love to see friends in Austin.
Pancakes.
Pancake time! Pancakes at the Care Center today. The Care Center at the Escapees RV Club is an adult daycare for elderly escapees, and they have meals and laundry and activities, stuff like card games. It's a community and resource for older full-timers, and lots of people live here. What did you color?
It's a pumpkin, a raccoon, it's a stick.
Oh, turn it around. Oh wow, it's a boy, it's a pumpkin, it's a raccoon, and it's a stick. Interesting. We talked to a bunch of the residents, and it's not your normal old folks home, because everyone we talked to has stories about adventuring around America for years and years. So we talked to some really interesting grandmas and grandpas and great grandpas and great grandpas.
Okay, ready, set, go.
We're in Columbus, Texas. We left an hour before Michael left, and he called when we were halfway here, and he is having some problems with the van.
Okay, I have no idea what that was. I was just driving along this little road, and then I heard this really loud sound. It sounded like a car horn, because it sounded like that F. As soon as I got across the intersection, I realized it wasn't them honking at me, it was coming from the van. So I pulled over, and it was really loud. I opened up the hood, and I didn't see anything obvious. The really weird thing is I turned off the van, and it still kept making that noise. That made me think it was some kind of a cooling system, because sometimes those will stay on even after you turn off the car. None of the gauges are showing anything unusual. There were no warning lights. It was just a really loud, freaky sound. It hasn't come back on yet, so...
At first I thought, oh, this is an example of why it's bad to drive separate. But then he reminded me, no, this is an example of why it's good to drive separate. Because imagine having problems with the van with 3 screaming kids in the van. So my mind was going in all directions, thinking that I was probably going to have to find a hotel and alone with the girls tonight. So I was really surprised when he texted and said, I'll be there soon. So we're all together here in Columbus, Texas, and we're at a Walmart parking lot. Oh, and this tree behind me, something's going on with bird migration. There are hundreds of birds in this tree right now having a huge bird party. We saw a flock come out of the tree earlier, so we know something's going on in there. It's kind of neat that there's a nature sanctuary right here in the parking lot of Walmart. So our Airstream's down here now. But just a couple hours ago, it would have been right here. We're here, and there's another RV here too, right here. Or there's two other RVs. Parking in a Walmart overnight might be one of my favorite things so far about full-time living. I don't know exactly why. I just think it's really thrilling.
Looks like the party is over. That was quite a party.
We had so much fun at our first Fulltime Families event in Boone that we decided that we want to try to get to every Fulltime Families event that we can get to in the next year. So the next one is Lake Medina in Texas.
Oh, we can use spaghetti. We can use spaghetti.
Oh dear.
Lyndon, you don't want to scare her. Okay. She's a little bit scared too. That's why she's walking away. The Parade of Homes is almost over, but I'm shutting down early because I want to run next door and check out this really big RV that's on the back of a truck. You'll see. I've been curious about it the whole time, so let's go check it out. First Fulltime Families Rally. We went to a Fulltime Families hangout in Boone, North Carolina, but this is a rally, so it's much bigger scale. There's over 70 other families here that live on the road full-time in an RV. So it's Halloween night and everybody's trick-or-treating and everyone's dressed up. There's kids from the ages of 4 weeks old. There's a 4-week-old here, all the way up through teenagers, and they're all out running wild trick-or-treating, and it's so fun. It feels like camping, but a giant party.
Tonight, one giant leap for women in space. The first all-female spacewalk.
There's been a long line of female scientists, explorers, engineers, and astronauts, and we have followed in their footsteps to get us where we are today.
It's a sandwich.
A sandwich?
Yeah, a sandwich.
A little tiny sandwich?
Yeah.
We saw some pumpkins that had faces projected on them, and they were singing Halloween songs, and the kids were mesmerized.
Are those scary pumpkins?
Yeah. They're not very scary. No, they're not.
The rally's a week long, and it's Thursday, so yesterday was midweek, and yesterday also was our first time dealing with below freezing temperatures in the Airstream. We didn't really notice. There's some things that Michael had to do to prepare for it. I would tell you about them, but I don't know what they were. The sun is going down over the trees, and it's just magical out. This is kind of special and kind of exciting. It's like, you know, there's a wild feeling in the air because it's Halloween and the sun's going down. There's over 70 families here at this rally, and tonight they've divided them all up into small group potlucks. So we're going to a potluck at a family's campsite that we've never met before, And I don't think we've met any of the other families that were assigned to this group either. So even though we've been here for almost a week and we've hung out with a ton of families, we're gonna meet 8 new families tonight and get to have a potluck with them. And then after the potluck is branch campfires. So there's a bunch of different campfires happening throughout the campground, and they're different themes. Like there's a campfire for people who are into video. We'll have to drop by that campfire. There's a campfire for people who are road schooling. There's a campfire, I don't actually know because I didn't read them, but... Last night felt like a wedding. It was a dance, there was a DJ. Lyndon was off the whole time just playing with different big girls, and Maple really got her groove on. She was just dancing like crazy, and Olive was being passed from person to person. It was so fun. It was the final night of the rally, and it was a dessert potluck / dance party, and everyone had a blast. Oh, okay, we did it. It's our last morning in Lake Hills, Texas, and we've been at the Fulltime Families Rally for a week, and it's been so fun. We're sad to leave. We've got all these new friends. Sense of community is one of those things that we worried about before getting on the road. Like, how are we gonna feel like we have friends when we're moving from place to place and constantly saying goodbye to people? The thing is, with full-time families, you get that sense of community. So we've decided to try to make it to California for Thanksgiving so we can spend time with Grandma and Grandpa and more. And we want to show everyone the Airstream. So we're going to start driving towards El Paso today, and we're just going to keep driving every day that we're able to drive until we get to California so we can spend a few weeks hanging out with family. Well, Maple just wandered off for a minute and we had a good scare. That's enough for me to want to get one of those GPS watches for Maple, because she just doesn't have a concept of sticking with us. She marches to the beat of her own drum and she just takes off. And it's really scary. So I want to look into a GPS watch for Maple. I think it's important.
You can see me, la 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 la. Keep on the high.